What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday, August 27th to all of you, 9 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. Thank you for joining Betting with the Bag. We start off today's show by wishing an enormous happy birthday to our very own low bagger, Lamont Williams. Lamont has put so much energy and great insights and cash in our pocket. His max bets hit at an alarmingly high rate. And I want to start this show off by wishing our guy, Lamont, an incredible birthday. And we need to dig deep here to hook our guy, Lamont Williams, up with a birthday pick. And we need to work as a team to do that. Happy birthday, Lamont Williams. Also, every morning and every late show, I would like to take a little bit of time to thank somebody who made the Miami trip so special, put in the energy to make it so special. Today, I want to give a shout out to the Canadian contingent. The Canadian contingent that came down. First off, Al Mack and Vlad drove from Toronto. I have no idea where they are right now. I sent them a message this morning wanting to know because when I left on Sunday night, they were still in Miami. They went down to South Beach, so I have no idea where they are. But that hustle, that drive, Al Mack was also on 3 of the panel shows. Vlad was so much fun to hang out with. I broke my suitcase right before I left. Vlad fixed it. Want to give a giant shout out to Al Mack, Vlad. But those weren't the only Canadians to step up. Mr. Gogster came from Belleville. Babano from Hamilton. And Josh Point O came and joined us from Toronto. And Josh Point O had only been with the squad since we did our Toronto Summit of Champions. He'd only been there for like 6 weeks, and he still made it down to Miami and was enormous and just so much fun to hang out with. So I really want to give a shout out to the Canadian contingent. Thank you guys so much for coming down to Miami. It's expensive plane ticket. And meant the world to me that you guys came down. So I'd like to say that. Now, I'd like to give a shout out to all the cappers on the chat again. Vinny Cornell, Dear Slayer Ski says, how about those Padres, Jimmy? Well, it was enough to make me want to smash my computer. Because twice in Lauer's last 2 starts against the Dodgers, I've taken the Padres' first 5, trying to isolate Lauer and stay away from the Padres' bullpen. Both times I lost the first 5. Both times they won the full game. We'll go over a little breakdown. Also, I need to recap Friday's action because Friday was a disappointing day. When we were in Miami, I was saved by Ski Profits 2 WNBA plays, but we'll go into that in a second. There's my guy Shadow, my guy Antoine Seymour, Kyle Jack in the house. Kyle Jack from South Africa. He is our Mac expert, and we will be delivering that breakdown on our Tuesday late show today. Our Mac breakdown, courtesy authored by the great Kyle Jack. Walla Walla Dose. There's Mr. Gogster in the house. Walla Walla Dose. Mr. Jocelyn. Jermel Wright says it's Titty Tuesday. Let's get this money. 400 like in the Sparks today. 400 like in the Sparks today. Why did I think it was just Aces versus Fever? How did I is there more than one WNBA game? What the hell? Let me just check this out really quickly. I have 1. Jesus. The hell am I doing? There's 5. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. This morning it only had 1 listed. Aces Fever. Jesus. Okay. Thank you so much. Jesus. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Jesus. 400. Thank you. Vegas Vickenhouse. Nasty Nate went 6-2 last night. Nice job. Nate the Great ready to get to work. Jermel Wright giving a happy birthday to our guy Lamont Williams. Yo. Rich G. Daddy 89. Mally Mal. Anna Merrick. There's Lamont Williams right there, opening the show with the big Lamont Williams happy birthday. Richly deserved. That guy's put a lot of glory and wins on our chat. There's Q Peso. There's Neo Money. There's Shell Dog. There's Noli Nose in the house. Danny Almendarez in the house. As Brewers laid such a big egg, they sure did. Q Peso. Red Girl. Love it. Red Girl, our sister in the house. The family is growing. The family is growing and joining us now. Eric Jones ready to get to work. Noseguard 1208. Raul Porwando. Joe Rich Ramirez. Jay Vegas. Says Bella Vegas. Jay Vegas. At Young Chillionaire. Ben Sports 24/7. We got Maxwell Smart in the house. Mr. Jocelyn, birthday pick, Indians first 5 run line minus 105. There's the first birthday pick for our guy, Lamont Williams, coming from our guy, Mr. Jocelyn. Okay, so there's Kevin Pine. There's Guru. Guru's been straight fire, man. Al Brown, $17 $100 parlay. Al Brown. There's Pie Guy, 9871. Pie Guy putting fear in my Ravens bet. I made my first bet of the Week 1 NFL season, and it's on the Ravens in Miami. And Pie Guy putting a little bit of fear. I was thinking about Pie Guy getting a little bit scared about that. There's Viper NB ready to get to work. Rod Zawacki, Big Ragu, Neo Money, D. Jonikin, says Parlay Rich, and that was Gerald Jones. Everything looking good. Okay, so first off, I never gave an update on Friday, just so we're all on the same page as where I am in this baseball season. I came into Friday morning down 9.11 units on the season, and it'd be nice. I was up a little over 4.5 units in Miami and MLB, and I was ready to make that push to get the plus units at the end of this campaign, and I had a very bad Friday. I had a very, very bad Friday. It started with the Phillies first 5 minus a half at the baseball game I went to. Phillies were up 7-0. Phillies were up 9-7 going to the bottom of the 5th, and I lost that. I tailed our very own Trotwam on the Astros first 5 team total over 2.5. I got that, but my book, I can't bet the first 5 team total overs. So that doesn't help me. Diamondbacks first 5 plus 128. I lost. Diamondbacks team total over 4.5. I lost. Dodgers first 5 minus a half with Ryu on the mound at minus 115. I lost. So that put me in bad shape. And yesterday could have easily been a 5-1 day. I could have easily lost that Braves first one and swept the board. But instead, I cashed Pitt Philly first 5 under 5. I cashed Reds first 5 minus a half. I lose Arizona San Francisco first 5 over 5. But those of you who went full game cashed. I did cash New York Yankees Seattle under 10, which was probably pretty fortunate after they scored 7 runs in the second inning. And then I lost Padres first 5 plus 144. Rafa, could you put up the record at this point? It's not great. It's not great. It's not pretty. Not great. Not pretty. But we can fix that. There's Kevin Barnett. Says, sup, my new low bag of boys. Let's get this party started. Good being here finally. Kevin Barnett. Kevin Barnett reached out on Twitter. And he watches the show, but he wants to be involved with the chat. And there he is. Man, following through with his actions. Got Kevin Barnett in the house. We got Unbelievable in the house. Ralph Jefferson ready to get to work. Ralph Perwano. We got the fight analyst. Daryl Lyles. All right. And Pink Eyed Genie. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's get to work. Jay Vegas saying, who's the week 1 survivor? Pick Seattle or Cincy? I'm going to need a little bit more time. I have the Audible today. So Tuesdays, Fridays, Audible. So today, we're going to go over if we're going to make moves on week 4 of the preseason. As we know, it's a crapshoot unless you hammer all the unders. But we're also going to talk futures, and we're going to look at where the market was when we did our preview a couple months ago and where it is now, and if we're going to follow through with some futures. And then Friday's just going to be a futures show and week 1 show. So that's how we're going to be doing things. And Kevin Barnett says, supposed to be donkey capping 101. Donkey capping 101 is a great handle. Is a great handle. But truly welcome, Kevin Barnett. Very excited to see you in the chat. Anna Merrick says, don't sweat MLB. Jimmy Football's here to save us. NHL is right around the corner. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so it's 9:09. So we know that Drew Martin is at the airport right now flying to Vegas where he's going to be living for the next year or so. So for us, we have, and he'll be back on the show, no question. We're going to be changing things around. We have some new special guests who are going to be starting on our show. But today we have Parlay Poppy joining us in 21 minutes. 15 minutes after that, we have Aunt L, star of the Sports Cake, and that's how we do, and that's how we're going to handle things. Let's get to work right now. And the fight analyst coming in saying, guys, take Sang Han Yu, minus 115 for the Contender Series tonight. That sounds good to me. I'm going to copy and paste that and make that bet after the show. Sang Han Yu, that's from the fight analyst. All right, copied and pasted. All right, and we have the first birthday pick was sent from our Mr. Jocelyn. And it's the Indians' first 5 run line. First 5 run line, minus 0.5, minus 105. That's for Lamont Williams. We need to give Lamont a winner. There's Ben Sports 24/7. Play of the day. Orioles first 5 plus a half, plus 177. Going to copy and paste our guy Ben Sports Picks 24/7. Get that ready to go. There we go. And there we do. Also, Matt Randall coming off a winning taint play of the day. Let's get to work right now. We're going to start with Orioles Nationals. I'm going to go through as many games as I can, starting from the 7 o'clock games before we're joined by Parlay Poppy. Let's get to work. Russell Gordon says, Drew, smart man. If you're real Capri, move to Vegas. Feel the real. I'm here. Hey, man. Think that's where we all want to end up. Think that's all where we all want to end up. Pie Guy says, I'm a Dolphins fan, Jimmy, so I'm a bit biased. But everything I see says take the points with Miami. I do agree it should go up to 6.5, so I'm going to wait. Pie Guy, I know you're only here to help. I just, brought a little fear. Because I was like, hey, man, don't you remember week one? So Harbaugh week one. Harbaugh preseason. Harbaugh early to me is a lock. Well, I should say lock. You can be very confident with. So, and I was like, hey, Pie Guy, Ravens won 47-3 week one last year against the Bills. It turned out to be an okay team. And he said, that was in Baltimore. This is in Miami. Things are different here. There is Gin Rummy. And says, wow, champagne. Someone calling an underdog in the chat. Good luck. There it is, Gin Rummy. There he is, Jim Rummy. Jim Rummy in the house. I was very upset, Jim Rummy, that your Pirates didn't come through. Nice plus dog. And I was cheering for you in extra innings. I was cheering against Bryce Harper. There's Josh Point. Oh, I gave him a shout out at the beginning of the show. Okay, let's get to work. We have a lot of work to do. Orioles, Nationals. Let's look at the money line and totals here at sportsbookreview.com. Also, don't forget our 50K contest. 50K up for grabs, free to enter. We're all going to be in it. Hit the link at the bottom of the page. And also check out our best sportsbook page. We have those two links at the bottom of our page. And get the right book for you. We have our A and A+ books listed in the best sportsbook page. All right, here we go. The total opened up heavily juiced to the under. Heavily juiced to the under. Under 9.5 minus 125. It has come back 11 cents. No, more than that. Sorry, the over is now juiced. Wow, okay, so the over has come into play here in Baltimore, Washington. We have had a move, a 19-cent move to the over 9.5. Hasn't changed by a run or a half run or anything, but it's changed with a heavy juice change. Also, the Nats keep taking money, but just a bit, 6 cents. The Nats have taken 6 cents. Let's figure out how we can hammer this. Jim Rami says it happens, life of variance volatility. Yes, but when you're always taking plus lines, you can be marginally over 50% and be up plus units, and that's what I see you do constantly, Jin Rummy. I was just cheering for you watching that game last night because I only had the late 3 games, so I added in your game that I had no action on just to cheer for you. And Rod Swag said, I agree with you, Pie Guy. I'm a Dolphins fan too, and a home always tough on visiting team. Let's see what Fitzpatrick does for you guys because he's going to be the starter, and I fear the worst for you guys. Okay. Let's get to work right now. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet 3-1 Monday. Today we have Oakland, Cleveland, Washington, Houston. Oh shit, I should copy and paste that whole thing. Sorry, we have to copy and paste Ron Crawford. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. The boss. Got paid the cost to be the boss. And now you can see DJ Big Boss and Big Ragu every Saturday morning on the Closing Line show, breaking down NCAA football. There's Jansen Bonson. Walla Walla Dose. Kikuchi versus Tanaka. I'll roll with the Yankees run line. Minus 120 for Lamont's pick. All right, Lamont, there you go. I'm going to copy and paste that. Copy and paste that. And there we go. We have a second birthday pick in for our guy, Lamont Williams. Okay, let's break this game down here. We have Aaron Brooks, family friend of the Nutflush Allens. And he got his first win as a Baltimore Oriole. Orioles are 21-42 on the road, but they've won 4 of their past 6. And we've already seen a first 5 plus a half on the Baltimore Orioles from our guy Ben Sports Picks 24/7. Nationals 10 games over 500 on the road are in the midst of the best 80 games stretch in club history. Aaron Brooks 3-7, 6.21 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. 82 2/3, 65 Ks, 23 walks. Patrick Corbin, 10-5, 3.17 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 161 2/3, 184 Ks, 51 walks, 18 homers. Orioles are hitting 257, 735 OPS versus lefties. Nats are hitting 257, 781 OPS versus righties. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, sideways, but sideways a little bit out to left. It kind of goes out to left field. Orioles have scored 15 runs in their past 2 games. They're hitting, but, and there's a big but. First off, Hanser Alberto left Sunday's game over the Rays due to head contusion and cervical neck strain. They've said that it's not a concussion. Renato Nunez also left. Tightness in his left hamstring. And who replaces Nunez? Crush Davis. Do you want Chris Davis in the lineup? Probably not. VR has homered in each of the past 3 games. 6th Oriole to have 20 home runs, 20 steals in 1 season. Brooks coming off his first win as an Oriole. 5 innings, allowing 1 earned run at home versus the Royals. Nationals are, I said that right. Washington coming off 3-game sweep of the Cubs at Wrigley Field last week. Nationals have a 4-game lead for the top spot in the wild card race. Nationals have won 5 in a row. Corbin's last start was a thing of beauty. 8 shutout innings, allowed just 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. He has allowed just 3 earned runs in his last 20 innings. We've seen letdown spots. We've seen constant letdown spots. Pie Guy says, if it is Fitzpatrick for sure, that puts the over in play. I don't know. I know he's going to go out firing, but I don't know how many points the Dolphins can put up even with Fitzpatrick in play. But it is Fitzpatrick. I was reading the Miami Herald. Unless something crazy changes. And he hasn't announced it, but he said, I guess, I don't know if it's a clear announcement, but everybody's moving forward with Rosen as the backup and Fitzpatrick as the starter. So everybody in Miami, all the beat reporters, all the sports reporters are saying it's Fitzpatrick starting week 1 and starting the first few weeks. So, I'd have to see it. Okay, let's keep rolling. Joe Ramirez is on Nats' first 5 run line. Avi Gold says, I tailed Reds' first 5. Thanks, Ant and Twatty. Beautiful stuff. And Jimmy advises me doing well on vegan. I'm happy to hear that you're hitting. Okay. Joe Ramirez on Nats' first 5 run line. I mean, even that, Joe. Even that is so juiced. First half, point spread. Even that you're getting minus 210, which is not something I want to deal with. It just feels like a classic letdown spot for these Nationals. I know that and Kevin Barnett says that's Fitzmagic. Jimmy, I don't know, man. I don't know. Antoine Seymour's on the Nats super run line. Brooks coming off his first good start. The guy knows this is his opportunity if he wants to pitch in Major League Baseball. I know the Royals lineup's going to be much easier than the Nationals lineup. But Mally Mouse says I won't even look at games of the line more than minus 160, especially minus 200. And Raymond said, Jimmy, our Reds last night held solid. It sure did. That 3-run home run had me pumping my fist. My guy, Raymond. Great call, Raymond. All right, I'm going to keep moving on. Guru saying, yikes, minus 210 on a run line. And Pie Guy says, I hope it's Fitzpatrick. Sets up Brady to come to town week 2 and get miracle again. Jim Rummy says, there's value on Orioles first half at this price, but not sure anybody will like it. Ben Sports Picks 24/7. He's on it. And I agree with the way the Orioles are hitting, but I don't like that Nunez and Alberto are not in the lineup. Double Up says Nationals cool down this game. Line 2 juiced. I agree. D. Jonathan saying 2 juiced. I agree. And Carlos Perosh said, I'm so sad at this point I couldn't make it to Miami, but you wearing that hat makes me feel get better. Much love to you, Carlos Perosh. Okay, let's move on to Pirates at Phillies. Brault versus Smiley. Smiley has come crashing back to earth after a first good couple starts. Let's see what we're dealing with. Money lines and totals. Brault has looked good. Smiley becoming a 3-cent higher favorite. He's getting 3 cents more. Let's see. Let me see what he is first 5. Wow. I mean, I know that the Pirates don't hit lefties, but they're going to hit Smiley. How do you not take the Pittsburgh Pirates here right now? The Phillies open to minus 132. They're at minus 135. I can understand why you wouldn't maybe take them full game. But how do you not take him first 5? This, to me, seems like the first action on my card. But let's talk about it together. Brault, 3-3, 3.98 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 83, 2/3, 74 Ks, 38 walks, 8 homers. Christopher Betts liking the Pirates first 5. Drew Smiley, 1-1. Now this is with the Phillies. 1-1, 4.73 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 32 1/3, 34 Ks, 12 walks, 7 home runs. Those 7 home runs have come in his last 19 1/3. He went through 13 innings with his first 13 innings without allowing a home run. Now, I know that these Pirates can't hit lefties, 241, 660 OPS. And Phillies do hit lefties, 254, 760 OPS. But Smiley has been getting touched. He has been getting touched. And he looked good against these Pirates in that first opportunity he had with the Phillies. But we know it's a Pirates team that can't hit lefties. Brault, 2.62 ERA in his past 11 starts. I think that they can put enough bats together, especially with Newman at the top of the order, that first 5 for the Pirates makes sense to me. And we're getting a plus. And Noli No says that hat makes me feel sick, Niner gang. Noli, I just needed a little bit of yellow to match the yellow, man. And the Redskins are you're allowed to wear the hat of a team that's going to get 3 or 4 wins this year. Right? Come on. You don't see me in an Arizona Cardinals hat. Although, Pink Eye Genie, I love you very, very much. I love you dearly. And then Carlos says that's my home team. Okay. Hard to bet trash team against trash pitcher. Can go either way, says Kevin Barnett. I like it. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this spot. Carlos says definitely. Raymond says Pirates first 5 at plus 120. And who else has Pirates first 5? That was Christopher Betts. I would like to I'll leave that as a lean first 5. What do you think? Jin Rummy, what do you think about the Pirates first 5? Are you going to go back to the Pirates well? I'd love to hear that. Raymond is on Pirates team total over 4.5. See, that I don't know if I can trust. But will Bell get a chance to go up against lefties, or is he going to sit on the bench again and wait for them to get to their bullpen? All right, I'm going to keep rolling. Russell Gordy says over is the only play. Over is the only play. The total in this spot opened at 10, heavily juiced to the under, and bookmakers already hanging in 9.5. Bookmakers already hanging in 9.5, but there has been a 9-cent move towards the over at Bet Online. Still at 10. I don't know. I would like to hear what Jin Rummy has to say about this spot. And Anthony L., I hear what you were saying, Anthony L. I hear what you were saying. And Jin Rummy says that line is fair to me in every way. Okay. All right, let's see what okay, sorry, I don't know if I should get into that debate. Ron Crawford's on Redskins +9 week 1, but I hear what you're saying, Ant. And I'm excited to have you on the show. Oh, and Lamont Williams, max bet, Cincy money line. Lamont Williams, max bet. He's going back to the Cincy money line. Here we go. Going to copy and paste that right here. Book it. Okay, so we have 8 minutes before we are joined by Parlay Poppy, and I'm very close to moving on Pirates first 5. We're skipping Braves, Jays, because we do not know who the Jays are going to use. It's going to be an opener type situation. Let's move on to the Cubs Mets here. Big game, 74 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, out to left center. Probably the most exciting game on the card. Cubs continue to be terrible on the road, 25-39 on the road. Darvish, 4-6, 4.43 ERA, 1.16 WHIP. Looked just like he did in the past. In his last start, he looked terrible, giving up 7 runs, 6 earned over 5 1/3 innings in the Cubs' 12-11 win over the Giants. Marcus Stroman, overall, 7-11, 3.18 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. But let's look at him with the Mets. 1-0, 4.58 ERA, 1.78 WHIP, 19 2/3, 18 Ks, 10 walks, 3 home runs allowed. He has not looked good. Tormino says Pirates don't hit lefties, but Smiley's garbage. Pirates have been the worst MLB team against lefties. But I do like Newman at the top of the lineup. And I just think Smiley can give up a few runs. Chris Hernandez, thank you. Chris saying they're going to use Font and Godly. Beautiful. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to copy and paste that here under the game. We have no market, so I'm just going to stay. Here we go. Font and Miley. We have no market, so I'm not going to move on to that game, but I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you, Chris Hernandez. Okay, Cubbies, Mets. Cubs are hitting 254, 784 OPS versus righties. Mets are hitting 251, 749 OPS versus righties. There's a lot of stories being written about the Cubs going to regroup, trade some of their vets, possibly Schwarber, possibly Rizzo, and start over. If they can change that right now. Each team was swept last week. Cubs dropped 3 games to the Nationals. Mets fell to the Braves. Both teams were off on Monday. Stroman allowed 1 run over 4 innings before departing with a tight left hamstring in the Mets' 4-3 victory over the Indians. Stroman coming back, and there's Tom Marino saying Stroman left to start with a hamstring issue. Darvish gave up a bunch of runs, but he's 1-0 and 3.91 ERA in 4 starts against the Mets. Adrian Ganekis in the house says, what up, Jimmy? Best show ever. Can't wait for the Audible. Thank you for joining us, Adrian. We've missed you. Nice to see you back. I think that the Cubs are a look here that is promising. Let's see what the market's done with it. Cubs, Mets. There's been very little movement, although the total has moved from the over to the under. Do we trust Darvish? I think the Cubs start taking care of business. Nate Dogg says I lean Mets, Stro Show today. Shell Dog leaning Mets. AM saying Stro Show going down. There's Nut Flush Allen in the house. Tomeo says the Cubs aren't going to trade anyone. They have a bullpen issue. Riku Roxa says Cubs on the road, so take the Mets. Pie Guy says, what time is the audible? It's 4 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays and Fridays. Rod Zwerky says, yep, they do. Love the Mets today. Mets get to Darvish today. All right, that's enough to keep me off. Let's move over to Indian. And then Jermel writes, his Cubs first 5. Strowman hasn't looked at. Look, I like Jermel. Let's go back to it quickly. What about the hamstring issue? There is a legitimate hamstring issue. And DJ Big Boss saying, for FYI, DJ Big Boss MLB contest, he's 18th. And I'm 23rd. I'm right behind him. I'm less than 2 units behind him. He says, hop in, 39-1 in 5 days, and cash in. Cash in. Okay. And Raymond says, Nut Flush, what's up, man? Are we fading your family friend? And Rod Zwacky is fading Darvish. And CT Bay says, I trust the home records for both and the Mets. And Tormento says, Cubs have played their best when they've been out of first place. That's true as well. I'm not going to make a move at this point. Let's talk Indians, Tigers. Let's talk Indians, Tigers. Here we go. Cleveland opened at minus 178. Now, that was at Bet Online. Let's see what Pinnacle opened it up at, because there's been a 29-cent move at Bet Online. Let's see what Pinnacle opened up the Indians so we don't get too overwhelmed by the minus 1. See, Pinnacle opened up at minus 153. That's probably the number that we should look at. So there's been a 3-cent move there. Now, the issue with Cleveland and the reason why our Indians division bet may be thrown into the trash is Jose Ramirez, broken hamate bone in his hand. Jose Ramirez likely done for the remainder of the season, and that hurts. That hurts so much. That is a big bat in the lineup. You take him out of the lineup, and what do you have? Because May is not hitting. It's a huge, huge, huge loss. Let's see what they predict this lineup's going to look like without Jose Ramirez in the lineup. Here we go. Lindor, Mercado, Santana, Puig, Reyes, Kipnis, Perez, Yu Chang coming up. So they're going to have Yu Chang and Reynolds moving around there. Yu Chang, Greg Allen. I don't know enough about Yu Chang. I know it's a huge loss, but I do think this team can step up even without Ramirez, at least short term. Francona, Tito is a hell of a coach and can say the right things. They need to get some production from Puig and Reyes desperately. Desperately. And America saying Dave LA Max bet the Tribe today. Gerald Parentier says Turnbull being trash for the Tigers. Turnbull 3-12, 4.05 ERA, 1.38 whip. Clearly, if he was on a different team, he'd be better. He has not won a game at home all year long. Tormento says Ramirez wasn't having a great year. Indians still have the bats to win the division. Their pitching has been the key to their season turnaround. Well, thank you, Tormento. That makes me feel a little better. But at my book, when I had the opportunity to hedge and put 500 down on the Twins at minus 115 and did not, the Twins are now minus 400. Plutko, 5-3, 4.54 ERA, 1.16 whip, 77 and third, 47 Ks, 12 walks, 19 homers. He's looked much better. Christopher Comentini saying Indians have won 12 of 13 versus Detroit. Nate Dogg saying Stroman shows up strong today. It's his hamstring that I'm worried about. It's not his heart or him showing up in a big game. Russell Gordy says line is fishy. Jimmy Cleveland line too low. Rob Porwando also liking Cleveland minus 140. Yes, Russell Gordy, and I think they're maybe taking too much into the Jose Ramirez issue. Cleveland's won 12 of 13. Plutko's pitched 6 innings each of his last 3 outings. He held the Mets to 2 runs on 4 hits in his last start. That's not easy. They're a good hitting squad. 2-0 with a 5.06 ERA, 6 career appearances against Detroit. He's given up 5 home runs and 11 and a third against them. Turnbull's lost all 4 starts against the Indians with a 6.30 ERA. Winless in 12 home starts, 0-7, 4.19 ERA. Last appearance was Tuesday. He allowed 5 runs, 2 homers in 3 innings at Houston. Yes, whenever Russell Gordy says line is fishy, you know something bad happens. Christopher Comentini says fishy mishy. As Pete Loshek said, no-brainer play. Riku Roxas took Indians last night at minus 140. All right. I'm going to stay off of it at this point. Christopher Comentini says, come on, I'll take it all day. Russell Gordon saying Tigers been playing spoiler lately. Malamau says they'll destroy Turnbull. Joe Rich Ramirez says this line should be minus 170. I'm off. Q Pesos taking the Stroman over 5.5 K. So sounds like a lot of you guys have no concerns over his hamstring. Pie Guy says the Tigers are actually starting to score runs. All right. We are going to, so we only got through, well, we got through Lamont's birthday, and a shout out to the Canadian contingent that came down to Miami. But we got through Orioles Nationals. We got through Pirates, Phillies, and I'm now moving on Pirates first 5. I'm going to make that move right now. Pirates first 5. Here we go. Pirates first 5, I'm getting plus 126 at Bookmaker. It's plus 125 at 5 dimes. It's plus 120 at all the other books and plus 115 at Bookmaker. I'm taking plus 126 at Bookmaker. Pirates first 5, plus 126 at Bookmaker. Red Girl liking Mets first 5. I'm off the Mets. Cubs. We have not talked about Braves chats. Jays. And Lamont Williams says, thank you for the love. Oh, you do so much for us, Lamont Williams. It's our pleasure to celebrate your birthday. And we've talked Cubs, Mets. All right, we have a lot of work to do, and we are being joined by 2 excellent baseball cappers, starting with our guy, Parlay Poppy, who I just had the extreme pleasure of partying with him in Miami, and he was so much fun to hang out with and delivered great analysis. My guy for life. Please welcome to the show, representing Los Angeles, California. We got Parlay Poppy in the house. How are you doing Tuesday morning?
What's going on, Jimmy? I just, wanted to say something real quick here. It's a little off the cuff, but, it's a weird time in the world. It's a very tumultuous place, a lot of different agendas, kind of creating more conflict and chaos than necessary. It seems like we're kind of dividing, culturally. And I can say that there's a real lack of community among us. And to be a part of this whole thing here with you guys live in the chat, you're the heart and soul behind this entire thing here, and just entirely grateful to be a part of this, to be able to see all these people face to face, eye to eye, buck to buck, to get to know everybody in their personal agendas and just enjoy life and have a great time has been amazing. I just want to give a giant shout out to every single one of you in the chat, to SBR, the engine behind what we have here, and you, Mr. Jimmy the Bag. But you know what? It's Tuesday. That means it's time to get cash buck popping. How are we doing today, my man?
We're doing good. That was very well put, and I couldn't agree more. It does feel like the world's divided, but not here. And not with us, and that was really beautifully put. All right, Poppy Longwood says, I'm just here for Poppy Plays. Well, let's see what Poppy's got up his sleeve on this giant MLB card all-night game, so we have a lot of time for analysis. Poppy, what's first on your card?
All right, I'm going to look at something just immediately popping off the board here, and that's just the Nationals team total over. Look, I know we faded Aaron Brooks last week live on the show. Oh my God, whatever. I mean, we wanted to back Mike Montgomery, but you know what? The Kansas City Royals are not the Washington Nationals offense. I think Aaron Brooks absolutely gets fucking annihilated today. You know what I mean? I just see that there's no chance. The guy probably kept his spot in the rotation just due to that outing versus Kansas City last time. But this is about to be a real reality check. You got to look at how these Nationals are hitting. It's extreme. A 990 OPS in the last 2 weeks, 40 weighted runs above average, a 150 weighted runs created plus. This is absolutely top tier elite out of probably any season long or 2 week long metric out of any team I've seen so far. I mean, they've scored 41 runs in the past 5 games, with 23 of those runs coming by these Cubs, these rivaled Cubs, right? So the first look that I want to take is going to be that Nationals first 5 team total. Not first 5, whole game team total over 5.5. And they've gone over that 5.5, these Nationals, 8 out of their last 10 games. And who's to say these Baltimore Orioles are going to be holding them down? What's really the letdown spot here, right? I mean, I don't get any other way to see that there's anything that you want to do with the Orioles except maybe just, I don't know, bet their team total under or something. But first, the whole game, over 5.5 for the Nationals. And I also want to take this run line on Washington. Scary, yes, I know. Bullpen, very suspicious. But at the same time, we have Corbin. Guy is elite, second best guy in the NL, in my opinion, 1.76 ERA at home. And he's allowing a sub 200 batting average against a team in the Orioles who, they're hitting a little bit, but they're losing the DH, right? They're going to have a pitcher hit because they're visiting the NL park here. And I expect Corbin to completely shut this team down. So I'm going to take Washington in a parlay -1.5 at that -155 steep price with something. But I do really like these Nationals team total over 5.5 here. Jimmy the Bag.
I get it. If you just solely break down the numbers, I absolutely get it. But I do have some concern that after coming off a 3-game sweep at Wrigley, that they'll just not be as focused. That's it. They'll just not be as focused. Tom Marino says, I'm not sure Nats will be sharp here after a huge series against Cubs playing Baltimore. But if you take out that psychological situation and focus only on the numbers, then absolutely, I agree with you completely. And that's my only hesitation at this point.
Right. And that's something that we always have to take into our cap, right? A lot of people have a good angle, like yourself, on the psychological aspect of how people are going to perform, because we see it happens with pitchers all the time. I mean, when you have that angle, you are going to be very profitable. But picking the spot here, I don't see how being unsharp and being a little bit more unfocused versus a bottom feeding team who really has nothing to prove is going to change an offensive outcome, because of the fact that you're in that, it's at home, you're comfortable, you got this guy coming in and this team that is just lowly out. It's not like they have the NL clenched. Every game still matters, and I know that they have that in the back of their minds, regardless if they feel some relief after this sweep. I just think that the Nationals are not going to be stagnating offensively in this very, very vulnerable Aaron Brooks and this vulnerable Baltimore Orioles bullpen. I don't see it happening here.
I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I just have a little bit of hesitation. And I know it's very different than the Braves situation because the Nats did have a day off, and the Braves didn't. So I know that's not the exact, connection or correlation. But let's move on. Let's move on to your next spot. I may end up jumping on it. I've got it written here. You are taking Parlay Poppy, taking the team total over 5.5, and you're also using the -1.5 in a parlay. What's next on your docket?
When I buzzed in here, I heard a little bit of talk about the Indians, Jimmy. What's your real quick on that one there?
Well, every time, or I shouldn't say every time, but extremely high percentage of the time, when a line is fishy, and Russell Gordon says it's a fishy line, I've taken it a few times. I've not been successful. And it just seems like the exact same thing happening here. -140. Now, I do think that Tito is capable of keeping the Indians up after the Jose Ramirez injury, but it's just fishy. It's fishy. Why aren't they bigger favorites? They've beaten the Tigers 12 of the 13 times. I know they're on the road, but that's the only thing holding me back.
Do you think that line, the fact that it went down and now is moving back up, has something to do with the fact originally that they're taking that line metric with Ramirez out, their hottest hitter? That's what I'm thinking here. And I see that line creeping back up. Do you see the same thing?
Let me just go to Pinnacle right now and see if it's creeping back up right here. Here we go. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's gone up. Yes, it's gone up 10 cents in the last 38 minutes.
So here's the thing. Indians plummeting quick, substantial loss. They really got to take care of these fucking C club teams over here. What does DJ say? The bum fights, these bum fight teams sponsored by. Get them out of here, Cleveland Indians. You got to take control of this situation. Sweep these fucking Tigers here. You got to remember a small bright note in the fact that we got Ramirez, who definitely is a substantial impact injury on that team. We got Yu Chang, right? Yu Chang, who came in for Ramirez, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 runs. So that's a little bit of a bright note. Is that the fact maybe as pumped with adrenaline, he's like, oh my God, this is my chance, and starts hitting the ball? Maybe. But the fact is, we're seeing that he might be able to hit. So not the biggest giantess loss that we might have think. The thing is, Plutko's very vulnerable on the road. I mean, he's got a 50-point margin differentiation in the whip, right? On the road, he's got a 1.41 whip. That's a lot of base circulation compared to his .096 whip at home. And he also allowed 8 hits on 31 at-bats from these Tigers who are slugging him at 6.13. So that's very concerning. But when we look at it on the other side, Tigers still struggling, upsetting some teams, but still losing 7 to the last 10. At home, 17 games won out of the 60 games they played. And not to mention that, lost their last 10 games to the Indians. Why do the Indians not find a way to get it together right here against these teams that they must beat in order to be in any type of contention? The fucking manager is going to be on their shit today. I guarantee you that they're going to be putting the ball in the air. So let's look at it with Turnbull, who was a buy-on guy. We were backing him at the beginning of the season. He kind of is he's falling off a little bit, and that has to do with his workload capacity. So when we look at him like this, Turnbull, 4 earned runs versus the Indians this year. 4 games. Turnbull winless in those 4 games versus the Indians this year. Turnbull winless in his last 8 starts, saying that he is at a workload capacity. We're worried about how long this guy is going to go. Turnbull allowing a 944 OPS and 56 at-bats with this Indian lineup without Ramirez in the lineup. So how do we say that he doesn't get touched here? You know what I mean? He's going to be on a limited pitch count probably. He gets blown up by these Indians without Ramirez in the lineup. And this bullpen is going to be in there who's walking 5.5 for 9 in the last 2 weeks and got a FIP in the 5.26 range. I understand the line movement coming down, but now we're seeing it come back up. I think that people realize that, Ramirez might not have been the biggest loss in this specific matchup that there should be, because I think that that's why that was now moving back up. So what I want to do is take the Indians -1 at -122. And I think that they're just going to get them done, man. I mean, Turnbull has just not been successful recently. The Tigers have not been successful versus the Indians, and the Indians can crush Turnbull just based on all these metrics and the fact that I think they're more than motivated to get it done here. Indians -1, -122.
I get it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the over 9.5. Pinnacle did open it at 9.5, and it went down to 9. Bet Online opened it at 9. It went down to Pinnacle dropped it down to 9 for 15 minutes. Let me see the exact amount of time. Actually, sorry, no, that's not true. Excuse me. Pinnacle moved it to 9 yesterday at 3:11 p.m. and didn't move it to 9.5 until 6:28 p.m. But it's been at 9.5 since. I think that Turnbull can get touched. And Americ's loving your call. I think that Turnbull could get touched. I also think that Plico could get touched.
Agreed on that.
82 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to make a move on the over 9.5 right now. Over 9.5. And I'm getting over 9.5 at minus. Oh, wow. The 105 just left. It was at Heritage and it just moved up to 110. Okay, over 9.5 at -110. I'm taking that right now. Book it, lock it. Okay, let's keep rolling along, Poppy. We got to speed up our pace a little bit. What's next on your card?
All right, I'll go over just 2 looks real quick. I have an abysmal offense on the Royals in the last couple weeks. Sub 200 batting average, right? Consensus wide in a vacuum, this entire Royals offense. .559 OPS in the last 2 weeks. And we got Fears, who is being a monster. He got hit up by Houston 2 starts ago, but, it's Houston. They can do whatever they want for most of the time. So I think that Fears being on the road here versus the Royals, Oakland rolling. They might have just blown their load yesterday, lighting up that whole Royals team for 1 million runs. But I still think that they definitely should be the side. And the thing is, like we said, Mike Montgomery, yeah, he had a complete meltdown that I was backing him live and making this huge fucking judicial case for over here, but last week in Miami. But the thing is, I think he's still a buy-on pitcher at home, a .293 weighted on base average. At the end of the season here, I expect him to do a little bit better. I expect him to be a buy-on pitcher for me personally in the future. And I am leaning heavily towards the first 5 under 5.5. But I do think that Oakland will get the job done here based on the fact that these Royals are stagnating on offense so much. This Royals bullpen, nobody's going to be out there available. Mike Montgomery will have to pitch the best of his, season here to get something done. And I think the odds of that happening are slim to none. So I do like the first 5 under 5.5. That's a heavy lean. And I do think Oakland money line with my Washington -1.5 is going to be probably a parlay. I'm going to do a couple more lines to see what I like the best. So Oakland, and then I really do think with the Phillies Pirates matchup, I do like the Pirates first 5. I think there's value there. I also like the under in that first 5, but I think the best play on that first 5 for me personally, I don't want to get involved with these bullpens, seeing what happened yesterday, and that 2.5 hanging for the first 5 for the Phillies, I think that's pretty appealing for me. So that's probably going to be another play, that Phillies first 5 team total under 2.5. I think that's at +115 or +120 Jimmy the Bag right now.
The A's, you're under in the A's look, I like it, but I'm scared just because the A's are going up against the lefty. That's the only thing that.
And we just saw Montgomery get obliterated.
But I don't like backing a team after they score 19 runs.
Yeah.
And Jaime Minuto saying major over-ump in Oakland game. And he said that yesterday and was bang on. And then what's the play you just dropped?
That I do like the Pirates first 5 a lot, but I think the play that I like more than that is the Phillies team total under 2.5 at plus 115 or plus 120, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I jumped on the Pirates first 5. I like your under 5.5, and I'm just going to put a note there so I can keep looking at it and studying it. But Parlay Poppy on the first 5, under 5.5 in the A's Royals game. Christopher Smith says Oakland all day first 5. I hate backing these teams that allow or that score 19 runs and expect offense right after that. So I'm not going to do anything there. There's my guy, Comic Ricky, in the house. Man, was he so much fun to be with. Just huge energy provided by our guy, Comic Ricky. And, man, just can't wipe the smile off my face when I hang with him. Got that man for life. Okay, I'm just gonna stay off the A's Royals game, but I like knowing that you're on the first 5 under 5.5, and I can understand your looks here. Phillies team total first 5 under 2.5, and I have jumped on the Pirates first 5 plus 126. Christopher Comedy says Oakland might not score 19, but they'll score enough to beat KC. That I don't doubt that. But I just don't like backing a team after 19 runs. Parlay Poppy, spectacular work. Can you review your selections and then let us know where we can find you on Twitter? And if you want to roll with Parlay Poppy right here on tomorrow morning show, Parlay Poppy, review your picks. Let us know where we can find you on Twitter.
We're going to go Washington team total over 5.5 at minus 135. We're going to go on to the Indians game, -1, minus 122. And we're also going to take a look at Oakland money line. We're going to parlay that with the Washington minus 1.5. We'll get a plus 154 line. I will tweet something else that may be a little differentiated for that parlay. But we got our last play here with the Phillies team total under 2.5 plus 115. You can always find me at Poppy_parlay. Always holler at me, open to any questions, creepy DMs, whatever the fuck you're trying to do, So I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll tweet out those plays, and I can't wait to catch more buck. Peace out, guys.
There he is, Parlay Poppy. That Oakland Nationals parlay is very interesting. I will be scouring his Twitter and keeping an eye on what he is on. Ben Sports 24/7 says KC first 5 over for me. Interesting. Avi Gold saying Comic Ricky's hilarious. I hope they have him on the show again. Yes, we need more Comic Ricky on the show. I agree with that, Avi Gold. All right, let's make a move and bring in our next guest. A man whom I love dearly, star of the Sports Keg, representing Omaha, Nebraska in the house. Please welcome to the show, Ant L. How are you doing on this Tuesday morning?
I'm doing pretty good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm starting to hydrate, but I'm having a lot of difficulty sleeping without 15 to 20 ounces of alcohol in my bloodstream. So I'm not reading things clearly. And but we need you at the next one, Ant. Promise me, man. We need you at the next one. Your name came up a lot of times with your baseball expertise. And congratulations on all the success that you guys have had on the Sports Keg. And I need to be filled in with everything going on there. Maybe you can give me a little bit of what's going on at the end of the show. But first off, we need your baseball expertise. What's the first game on your card?
So I like the Astros-Rays game today. I was looked at that line, and I'm breaking the game down. So it's actually probably the best starting pitching matchup of the day. So even if you don't have money on it, why would you not want to just watch Verlander and Charlie Morton pitch? Their numbers are very similar. Verlander's numbers are slightly better, but they're both elite level starting pitching numbers. Both these guys will probably wind up in the top 3, top 4 Cy Young voting. It's absolutely a fantastic starting pitching matchup. If you want to say who's better than who, you're really just splitting hairs. Verlander's slightly better, but not a lot better than Morton this year. If you want to look at the bullpens, though, in this game, they're almost even. Like, I wrote all the numbers down, but basically the bullpens are even over the last month of the year. And then why is this number where it's at? Like, why are you laying minus 190 when you have these pitching matchups between the starter and the bullpen that are completely even? And then I look at the offenses. So obviously the Astros have pretty much the best offense in the league, and the Rays offense has not been bad. It's over the last second half of the season, the Rays have been right in the middle. So they haven't been abysmal by any stretch of the imagination. When I capped this game, I made it minus 130 for the Astros. Basically, just the difference in offenses put the Astros over the hump as a favorite for me. But look at the number. It's minus 190 right now. And you're getting the Rays at plus 170 in a start with Charlie Morton and with that bullpen. I don't think there's any matchup in the year where Charlie Morton and that Rays team should be plus 170. So you're getting a lot of line value here. So I am taking the Rays as a dog on the road at plus 170 against Verlander and the Astros.
Two questions. First off, do you feel like Morton has not been the same since coming off of the IL? And secondly, what do you think about focusing on like a first five, because you got Morton on the mound, and like a first five plus a half, that's still a plus number. You can get up to plus 115 at 5 times, as low as plus 105 at Bovada, but plus 110 pretty much everywhere else. Those are my two questions.
Guys coming off the IL, first couple starts, they might be a little shaky. Then they tend to get better. So, I mean, if he looked bad on his first or second start from the IL, he's just going to continue to get better. He's Charlie Morton. His numbers are what they are for a reason. And I'd say if you want to take a derivative on that first five, I wouldn't talk you off of it. I think anytime you're getting plus money on a Charlie Morton start of this magnitude anyways, I mean, if you're getting like plus 110 for the full game, I'd just stay off of it. But like when you're talking a plus 170 number, all the derivatives are just calculated into that. So plus 110, plus 115 on the first five, plus a half run. That's a pretty good number as well. So I would definitely not talk you off of that if you wanted to take that. I'm just going for the full game because I see there is value on the full game because there's no bullpen disadvantage for the Rays here. The bullpens are pretty much even right down the middle.
Let me ask you this then. With this spot here, if I was going to back Morton first five, how do I phrase this properly? You know what? I think I'm going to make a move on the first half. I like a first five plus a half backing Morton here. I think that's what gives me the most value on this card. I think I'm going to do that. I guess the main question would be this. We see all this money coming in on the Astros. Should we wait and make this move 6 hours from now because money will continue coming in on the Astros?
Oh, yeah. Verlander's always overpriced and he always gets steamed. I mean, don't get me wrong. Verlander's always gets steamed because he's one of the best pitchers in the league. And he's always overpriced because he's backed up by the Astros, who are the best team in the league. But that doesn't mean you should be laying this number with him against a team that's a playoff contender and against a starting pitcher who's, looking like he's going to be one of the finalists for the Cy Young as well. So this is all about price here. So like I told you before, I made the Astros a minus 130 favorite in this game. So I do think the Astros should be favored here. But at this number, it's out of whack, and it'll continue to get out of whack. I haven't bet the game yet. I am going to go down to my Sportsbook this afternoon, and I anticipate it's going to get steamed at least another 10 cents by then. And that's when I'll take the Rays.
I like it. That makes perfect sense. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take the Rays first 5 plus a half, but I'd rather make even more than I'm making now. There hasn't been that big of a move there. Pink Eye Genie says Verlander losing 4 in a row. It's not that. It's not fading Verlander. It's finding value with Morton and finding value with the Rays. I like it. I'm in. I like it a lot.
Thank you, Jimmy. People always go, "Oh, Anthony, you fade Verlander too much. Why do you hate Verlander so much?" I'm like, I'm not fading Verlander. He's just overpriced. I'm betting the number.
Yeah, totally. I totally know what you're saying. I love it. And do you mind, because you're our last guest now on the show, just to stay with me for the rest of the card so we can break down even more games other than the ones you're on?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
I'm actually on a lot of games, or going to be on a lot of games, because I actually really love this card.
Perfect. Well, we've got time, so let's start hammering them out. What's next on your card?
So I came back and heard you guys talking about the Indians game, so I'll just go through that pretty quickly. I agree. I plan on being in on the Indians as well, as long as they don't get steamed past 160. I think when you can get them in that minus 150 range, that's kind of like the sweet spot there. Once you get up to like minus 160, then the value's kind of out of that play. I think the Indians should be in the minus 170 and minus 180 range on this line. I know Plutko is been very mediocre. That's polite. But he's looked better lately. Turnbull sucks too. I mean, both starting pitchers aren't that great. But the Indians have a bullpen advantage and a lineup advantage. Even with Ramirez out of the lineup, the Tigers have a bottom 3 offense in the league. It's freaking terrible. So I'm going to be on the Indians as well. But moving forward, here's a game I really wasn't sure I was going to like until I broke it down, and I really think this is a great spot. If you want another underdog, this one's a little bit less of a price, but it's still a nice little underdog spot on the road. I like the Rangers at plus 135 today. I'm looking at the starting pitching matchup. Minor is having a great year. His metrics do show, his advanced ERA metrics do show some regression, but that's just to be expected if Mike Minor's posting a 3.17 ERA in August. But even his regression numbers, 3.97 FIP, 4.32 Sierra, those are still pretty respectable numbers. So even if he does kind of tail off a smidge, I mean, he's not going to be bad. And then you got Heaney. I mean, Heaney's got a pretty good, pretty respectable line too. He's got 4.31 ERA, 4.33 FIP. I mean, what you see is what you get with Heaney. He's pretty decent starting pitcher as well. I'm just looking at these starting pitchers. I see kind of the same guy. I'm like, all right, so this line should be kind of a coin flip. And then you look at their offenses over the last month. They're both horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. The offenses are so bad right now. So my favorite play on this game is the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. My local paperhead site has it at minus 105. So if you can get that first 5 under at that number, that's a really good look, because you got 2 very decent to, I would even say maybe good starting pitchers versus horrendous offenses right now. I mean, the Angels is Mike Trout and then a bunch of scrubs. And the Rangers offense has been in doldrums for like 2 months now. So I don't see a lot of scoring in this game. I absolutely love this first 5 under. And I love getting the Rangers at plus 135 here for the full game. If you want to shorten it down, avoid bullpens, avoid that, variance, you can take the Rangers at virtually the same price on the first 5. I think it's like plus 130. So I am already bet the Rangers first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. And when I get to my sports book this afternoon, I will be on the Rangers full game money line.
I love it. I absolutely love the first 5 under 4.5. First and foremost, I don't know if I can trust the Rangers offense at all to do anything positive for us.
Trust.
I do.
Oh my gosh. Everybody says trust.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't trust the Angels offense either. Give me plus 130 on a coin flip.
No, I hear that. When I look at both plays, I want to jump all over the first 5 under 4.5, and I'm still hesitant to take the Rangers at the plus line. I'm getting minus 103 at Pinnacle, and I've hammered it immediately. I think that's an excellent, excellent, excellent look. In fact, that's the best look so far I've heard on this entire card. That's the best look I've heard on this entire card.
Thank you.
The first
I
5
hope it hits now. No pressure.
I just think that's a great, great, great look. I really do. Minor's been so good since he realized that him and his family were going to stay in Texas, and the Rangers can't hit. It's my favorite spot. Okay, let's keep rolling, Ant. You're firing hot. What's next?
All right, so you've probably remember some of our conversations we've had about how starting pitchers tend to over-affect the lines in baseball. In this game, the Twins-White Sox is a perfect example of that. You have Lucas Giolito, who has been very good this year. He's been very good. He's got 3.20 ERA, and his advanced ERA numbers say that's exactly where he should be. He's been fantastic. He's got a 109 whip. And Pineda is average, all right? He's got a 4.26 ERA, 4.23 FIP, 4.39 Sierra. So both these guys, when you look at their ERAs, what you see is what you get here. Neither one of them has any positive or negative regression in that metric. Both of them have similar whips. So you think, all right, well, the White Sox should probably be a favorite here since Lucas Giolito is about a run better on those numbers. Until you look at the offenses, it is a cataclysm between these two offenses. The White Sox over the last month, I mean, over the whole season, their offense has been kind of bad. But over the last month, their offense has been anemic. They're in the bottom 3 in every number. You want to go WRC plus? Yeah, they suck at that. WOBA, slugging, on-base percentage, everything is terrible. Home runs, they can't hit home runs. They've hit like 23 home runs in the last month. The Twins have more than doubled that number. The Twins in every offensive category are in the top 5, where they've been all year. You just have a substantial difference in class and lineup, and the bullpens are completely different also. The White Sox bullpen is complete trash right now, and the Indians, why do I keep saying the Indians? The Twins bullpen has actually been pretty good. So when I look at this number, I'm like, all right, Lucas Giolito should give the White Sox a chance here, but he should not give them enough of a chance to where they're a coin flip. You know, the Twins should be like minus 130 here. I'm sorry. So you're getting the Twins at basically a coin flip price, right around minus 105 to minus 107, depending on where you're looking. I'm on the Twins here. You have a substantially better team. And even with Giolito being better than Pineda, that offense of the White Sox is so bad. Just so bad. You tell me Pineda, who's a very reasonable starting pitcher. I mean, Pineda doesn't suck or anything. You tell me Pineda can't shut down a shitbag offense like the White Sox? Come on. So absolutely, I'm all over the Twins here at this number. And if it's 1-1 going into the 7th inning, and now we have the bullpens versus the lineups, I mean, I absolutely would rather have the Twins at that spot with a few innings to go on a coin flip price with those bullpens and those lineups.
Very interesting breakdown, and I like it. Gas Station Sushi agreeing with you. Max betting the Twinkies. CT Bay says Twins pen is trash as well. That was brought up by Pie Guy. But Jin Rummy agreeing with your Twins that the value is there, seeing that there's value there. Man, so Giolito said, quote unquote, that's the best I've ever pitched in my life last start. The best I've ever pitched. 12 strikeouts, 0 walks, 3 hit shutout, 2-1 with a 3.32 ERA against him this season. I mean, he just can't duplicate the best he's ever pitched in his life when they just saw him again. I expect. I mean, there's no for surety, but Twins have outscored opponents 86-62 in the last 12 games, 86 runs last 12 games, and Pineda 3-0, 3.15 ERA in 3 starts against Chicago. I mean, he's looked good. 4-3, 3.40, and that's this year's 2019 starts. 4-3, 3.40 overall. I agree. And Matt Randall said, wanted to let you know the taint for the day. Thank you, Matt Randall. I can't wait to hear that. Bookie Lover Q says, I only back White Sox in 2 situations. Stock prices versus lefty and Giolito versus losing team. First time seeing him. I'm up big using them in dog parlays, lunch money. I agree. This is not a spot where I'm going to take the Angels. This is a spot where the Twins have value. Shell Dog saying, first 5 Chicago being good to me. Yeah, it has been. And there's Matt Randall's team play today. Brewers, money line. Thank you for stopping by and taking the time. That means so much to us, Matt Randall. And we send love to Briggs often. Your new son, wishing you the best. Thank you for taking the time. Why do you think this total's gone from 8.5 to 9? Because they think Giolito's going to get touched?
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the total. I'm pretty sure people are just steaming the total because either they want to fade Pineda or, like I said, the Twins have one of the top offenses in the league. So it's kind of like holding your breath if you want to bet an under with them. I mean, they're on pace to set the record for most home runs in MLB history.
Yeah, no, I get it. The Twins have all the value here, but I'm hesitant to make a move on them still. But I agree. They have all the value. So let me just put Ant right here. And Gas Station Sushi on it as well. Wow. And it is blowing out in Chicago. Thank you, Brandon. Our guy, Brandon Lugo, now is saying 78 Fahrenheit, 12 miles per hour out to left field. Jin Rami said, I didn't say Twins have value. No, what did you say? Sorry, Russell Gordy said. Sorry, let me get this so I don't. Said Twins number too low. If you agree with the Twins number being too low, then how does that not equate that they have value, Jin? Because you said you agree with him saying the Twins number is too low and the Cleveland number is too low. You agreed with that. So what does that mean if you agree with that? Please fill me in on that. Then I'm confused. Okay. I like it. Let's move on, Ant. What's next on your card?
I'm kind of looking through. I'm looking at this Coors Field game, and the only thing that gives me hesitation is the total is 13.5. But how do you not look at an over here? You have Boston and the Rockies. The Red Sox have a fantastic offense this year. They have issues. They're not going to be a playoff team, it looks like, but they're still got a winning team. And their offense has been on point, and they're going to the best hitters park in baseball. And the Rockies love hitting in their home park. I mean, all of their hitting numbers between home and away is substantial. 13.5 is a high number. We all know that, but 13.5s have hit at Coors Field fairly regularly this year. And you got the Red Sox worst starting pitcher, and the Rockies are throwing out a guy making his first ever major league start. And if you want to go look at his minor league numbers, you will vomit. This Garcia guy has terrible, terrible numbers. He has an ERA approaching 7 in AAA right now. And you're going to have his very first major league start be at Coors Field against that Red Sox lineup. And then you're going to have Porcello against that Rockies lineup in Coors Field. 13.5 is a high number, but I am going to have a half unit on this over. I don't see how this is a pitching duel. And it's crazy how easy how easy totals get over 13 in this ballpark.
You know, I absolutely agree. Have you looked at Rico Garcia? I broke down Rico Garcia on Baseball Reference and Fangraphs. In Baseball Reference especially, I found something very interesting. Rico Garcia in AA Hartford, where he's just under a year older than average at AA. He goes 8-2 with a 1.85 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 68 innings, 87 Ks, 23 walks, only 4 home runs allowed in 16 innings. Looks spectacular. Then he goes up to AAA Albuquerque, where he's a little bit younger than the average age in AAA, and he gets destroyed. 2-4, 7.16 ERA, 1.75 WHIP, 55 in the third, 45 Ks, 24 walks, 13 home runs allowed. We saw the Rockies pitching get devastated, get hit with injuries, and they still didn't bring up Rico Garcia because he was so bad. He was so bad in Albuquerque. And I think that's a sign of what's to come. He allowed 13 home runs in 55 in the third in Albuquerque after allowing 4 in 68 in AA Hartford. 24 walks and 55 in the third. I agree completely. Do we not also, let me just look at market move here in this game. I like this look a lot. I like this over 13.5 a lot, even though the juice is sort of moved towards, I guess not quite, 5-cent move towards the under. Do we not also think the Red Sox have value? I know that Porcello's going to get touched, but don't we think that the Red Sox relieve a little stress on Rico and this Rockies team?
I wouldn't talk anyone off of betting the Red Sox, but they are the better team, and minus 130 is not a very huge favorite line to try and grab them with. The problem is I just have a hard time laying any kind of juice in Coors Field with totals that high because there's just going to be so much variance in this game. It's just one of those things where it's like, why take the Red Sox minus 130? If you think this over is going to hit, which I do, either you could probably grab a plus number on the Red Sox run line, the Red Sox super run line, or just come back the other way and say, hey, what if the Rockies, I mean, yeah, the Red Sox could light this guy up and get like 8 runs, but what if the Rockies get like 13 runs off Porcello? Who knows? Take the Rockies on like a reverse run line or something. If with totals this high, they're saying it's going to be a high variance game, and you want plus numbers when you're betting into high variance. I don't want to lay juice on a on a game that's should have this much variance. So I'm going to just stick with the total. But if you wanted to take a side with a number with a total this high, either like a run line or find a way to get on the Rockies at a bigger plus price than just plus 120 or something like that would be how I would approach it. But I'm just personally sticking with the over.
That makes perfect sense. That makes absolutely perfect sense. And I'm on it. I'm on the over 13.5 at minus 102 at Pinnacle. There's a minus 105 at Heritage and 5 dimes, minus 110s across the board everywhere else, and 115 at Bet Online. But they opened it up at minus 120. I agree. With a high variance game, why take a Red Sox team that's given up on the season as a favorite on the road? But over 13.5 at minus 102. I am on. I agree with that look completely. And you're fire today. You're fire. Anything else you're looking at?
I haven't bet anything else, but I'm looking at a couple of spots. Kind of want to know what you think. What do you think of the over 9 in the Cardinals-Brewers game? I do not like Mikolas. I do not like Mikolas at home, on the road. And Hauser is average at best. And then the Cardinals' offense is heating up here too. How's this not a 6-4, 6-5 type game? So what do you think of the over 9 here?
See, I understand that Mikolas has not been good this year and he's not been good on the road. And I understand that Hauser overall, his numbers are improving because he's been so good lately. Cardinals are playing playoff type baseball, and Hauser's been very good. 3 earned runs in his past 3 starts. 3 earned runs last 18 and a third. I know he's been touched against St. Louis, but Hauser was this guy who coming out of the bullpen was very good. And starting games as an opener or whatever it may be, he was very bad. We knew that was both sides were going to regress to the mean, and that's what it's done. Matt Randall's on the Brewers as the taint play of the day, but it looks like Moustakas isn't going to be in the lineup. And I know Moustakas hasn't been very good this year. But Mikolas has allowed 5 earned runs in each of his past 3 starts. The question is, without Moustakas, and if I find Mikolas more vulnerable than Hauser right now, which I'm shocked to be saying, without Moustakas in the lineup and with the ability of Mikolas maybe to look better against these Brewers because they're playing so well, that's my only issue. Tomer says Brewers should match up well against Mikolas. Michael Irvin says Hauser's been fired lately. Mikolas is decent, can have a great game. I would go under. Not applicable says Hauser to get hosed. Great job, Jared Trader. Love seeing that. Tomer says Mikolas looks like he's wearing down. I think that's a great point. I guess I don't know. It's playoff type baseball, and when I think of playoff type baseball, I think of lower scoring games. I'm on the fence in this one. We've seen it move 2 cents towards the over. So I expect if it's at minus 122 and minus 120 at other shops, that we could see 9.5 soon. I certainly wouldn't talk you off of it. But even without Moustakas, would the Brewers team total over be a better look? Because there you're getting the Brewers team total over at, where is it here? 4.5 at minus 125. But you don't think so? You'd rather have both because the Cardinals' offense is rolling, and I agree with that. This is a tough one.
Yeah, that's too much juice.
It's a tough one. This is a tough one.
I've been looking at the game. I really like the overlook. I like to back hot offenses. I like to fade terrible pitchers. I was just looking at the Cardinals have a hot offense, so I think they can hit Hauser here. And like you just mentioned, Mikolas has been pretty bad lately. And there's some bats in that lineup of the Brewers that can get to him. So I don't know. I'll sit on that one, but that's just one I've been looking at. Another one I've been looking at, though, I don't know how much time we have left.
Let's close with this game.
All right. The Yankees-Mariners over 9.5 at even money. The Yankees offense is not the Blue Jays offense, so I don't think Kikuchi is repeating that performance. And I'm not impressed with Tanaka. And the Mariners can still hit at 9.5 at even money on that over. I see the Yankees winning this game like 8-4 type of deal. I can see that total going over pretty easily.
That's a very interesting look. I was thinking that this under was going to get bet. just because of the romanticizing the situation with Tanaka up against Kikuchi, knowing that there's going to be all this Japanese fans' money coming in, believing in these two pitchers. I like it. Yanks are hitting 276, 847 OPS versus lefties. Now, the Yankees have had a long road trip. Now the second game in Seattle. I was on the under yesterday. I was fortunate to hit it. Ski Profit says Kikuchi all day. Interesting. This is a very interesting look. Steve Priest says Kikuchi looked up to Tanaka, Japanese duel. And then Ski Profit talking about Kikuchi night splits. Ski Profit also saying Tanaka on the road in night splits. You know what? I like this bet because it's going to go against everybody romanticizing the duel. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. And I think that if you wait, you could get a 9. I bet you will see a 9 on the board by the late show. What do you think?
It's already juiced to the under 9.5, so you might be right there.
Wow. Okay. And if you got a free play on the side here, I like this last look a lot. Let me just go to money lines here. If you got a free play on the side, wow, a huge move towards the Mariners. Wow. That's a 33-cent move towards the Mariners. Let's just see what Pinnacle opened up, because maybe they didn't open up plus 190. No, Pinnacle still opened it up at plus 183. So even there's been a 26-cent move. If you had a free play on the side, who'd you back?
At this point, the Yankees. I mean, because sometimes you have so much steam on one side, then it creates value on the other side. I would stay off the sides at this point. I'm definitely not taking Seattle at 30 cents worse than the opener. But I mean, if Seattle keeps getting steamed and the Yankees get down to minus 160, that's a pretty decent look on the Yankees as a fairly reasonable favorite price against a terrible team. And
I misread what Ski was saying. And I'm going to be doing that for the first few days that I'm back. I'm just not sleeping at all. Kikuchi Day means over from Ski Profit. Ski Profit's all over this over as well. Wow. And Jin Rami saying my model's on the Mariners at plus 183, but it disappeared 2 minutes after the Pinnacle opening. Wow. I like this over. I think it's a very interesting look. And I also think that this under is going to be bet. And I can explain if it does go down to 9, it's going to be a market move that I can explain rather than one where I feel like Jin Rami bases his moves off of a model so then he can explain and predict why a move is happening. But here I can explain it just people romanticizing the situation. All right, we got to go. I'm going to wait on this and see if we can get a better line throughout the day. But I really like that look on Yankees Mariners, and I'm happy that you brought up all these games that we hadn't got to. Absolutely spectacular job from our guy, NL, star of the Sports Keg. NL, can you review your plays once more and let us know where we can find you on Twitter?
All right. Games I bet is the Indians at minus 150. I am on the Rays. Right now, the number's plus 170. If you wait a little bit, you could probably get a better number because Verlander is going to get steamed. I am on the Rangers Angels first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. The Rangers full game plus 135. And my leans are the overs in the Cardinals game and the overs in the Yankees game. And half unit on the over 13.5 at Coors Field.
Oh, this was a spectacular job and really, really impressive job on today's card. Where can we find you on Twitter?
AntL_SportsKeg.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on these Tuesdays. We wish we could have more of you. Great, great job, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Very, very nice job here. Okay, we've gone long, and I've got to go. So this is what I am on. I'm on the Pirates first 5 at plus 126. I am on the over 9.5 at minus 110 in Indians Tigers. I do have some interest on that Indians on the minus 1 line, some interest. Then I am on, I'm not there. I'm going to be on the Rays first 5 plus 0.5. But I'm going to wait. I think I can get a better line. I'm on the over. I'm rolling with Ant on the over 13.5 at minus 102 in Red Sox Rockies. Then I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 in Rangers Angels. I really like this spot. And I may make a move on this over in Yankees Mariners, especially if it goes down to 9. That's my action. Shout out to Bobby Lee Swag in the house. Bob Lee Swag in the house, joining us, rolling with us. I also think that first 5, I think that doubling up on that over in this Red Sox game is very appealing. Doubling up on this over. Let's see what the first 5 over is. First 5 over in Red Sox Rockies is 7. And it's already moved up to 7.5 at Heritage, Intertops, and UWager. Let's see what they've done with this first 5. They just moved it back to 7. Wow, it's going down. That's interesting. It opened at 8. Pinnacle's dropped it a full run. But on the full game, God, that's so interesting. On the full game, Rockies, Red Sox, on the full game, they've brought it down from 14 to 13.5. Okay, maybe I'll wait on that first 5. Maybe I don't want to double up there if the market's going against us. All right. Not applicable says WNBA looks interesting. Late show today. Yes, I'm very sorry we didn't have enough time to go to it. So we got to go right now. But we are going to hammer WNBA on the late show, and I apologize we didn't get to it. Russell Gordy going against that over, saying under at Coors again. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you to our guests, Parlay Poppy and Aunt Al from the Sports Keg. Sorry, Sports Keg. Get after it. Let's have a big afternoon of study. I'll catch you guys on the late show. Leche, hey, Los bookmakers. Let's get it.